Hello friends, welcome back for another video. If you are new around here, my name is Sandy-Kaye. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I talk about mom content over here while I'm figuring it out with my kids. Try to upload a video once a week and a couple shorts a week as well. I gotta quickly finish this while my daughter's sleeping. On a side note, if you guys have ever tried to take frozen chicken and saw them apart and saw the little thing on the back, you know, with the squishy gel in it, it's a pain in the bum. All right, let's dive right into kids sharing a room. I have a almost 2.5-year-old toddler and a 10-month-old daughter. They've been sharing a room for 4 months now, so I just have some things that I've learned and some tips to hopefully make that transition easier for you. The first thing I learned is that the kids really do get used to sleeping with each other, and it took quite a lot more crying to wake up the baby or the toddler, vice versa, you know, than I imagined. All right, we've only had about 10 interruptions thus far, but such is the life of a mom with 2 kids. All right, let's move on to the second thing that I've learned, and that is the transition is so much smoother and it went so much easier than I had expected. I think it can seem a little scary at first, but on the condition that both of your kids are already sleeping through the night, and even I'll go into detail on this next, but like my daughter was only sleep trained, you know, it was the 4th night that she's moved over to the toddler's room, and she did great. There was only a few wake ups between the 2 of them for the first couple nights, and then it was pretty smooth sailing from there. So to go along with what I was saying with night training at around 6 months, this is my first big tip, is to sleep train your younger child or baby that is going into the toddler's room. And of course, if the toddler's not sleep trained, it's a very good idea to get them on board as well. But we love the Taking Care of Babies course. I've used it for both my kids. We do it at the 6-month mark. That just seems to be the best time to do it. And with both kids, it's been 3 nights and they're sleep trained, and night 4 moved the baby over and they were sharing a room. My second tip is to put the younger child or baby to sleep first, as they tend to be a little bit easier. The toddler might want more snuggles, more attention, and take a little longer, you know, for the whole wind down. So I find putting the younger child to bed first works the best, and we actually use a blackout tent for the baby and a sound machine by her tent. For the third tip, we get the toddler ready in a different room, which is just our room across the hall, so we can do our pajamas, reading a book, some body slams onto the bed, you know, to get all that wild energy out, whatever you guys like to do to try and get some of that energy out. And my toddler will snuggle with his dad for a little bit, or sometimes they watch Shop, just a guy building his shop. And then as soon as I am holding my son to bring him to bed, I am whispering and changing the volume so he knows it's time to be quiet when I'm walking the hallway, and then when I'm entering his room, I'm singing into his ear the same song that I've always sang to him. But yeah, I sing that song, and that has helped so much, because before we'd have the problem of as soon as we left my room and we entered into where the baby was sleeping, he would just yell out because he knew he was supposed to be quiet, so he'd just be extra loud, you know, doing the opposite, such a toddler. So that's been super helpful. All right, my phone was at 3%, so quickly had to plug that in. But to go along with the other tip, we take about 5 minutes to wind down with the toddler once we're in his room. First, I finish singing to him the song while we're lying down on his rug. He prefers a rug, not a mattress. Number 2 is we review the day, talk about highlights of what we liked. 3 is we say a quick prayer together. 4th, I find it super helpful to talk about us all going to bed. Mom and Dad go to bed. Shh, shh, usually do a little snore. Ray goes to bed, and then Trenner goes to bed, my son, all night on his rug like a big boy. And so I just like say that every night so he is not feeling left out. We're all going to bed. We're not staying up and partying, and we literally are usually going to bed with him. Yeah. Helmet on. And the 5th thing that we do is I give him a quick last chance for a sip of water, and just remind him he has a little alarm clock that he stays on his rug all night until his alarm clock turns green and tells him he can wake up. Found this 5-minute wind down routine super helpful. I've been doing that same 5-step thing for quite a while now. It's worked very well, helps my toddler settle down, and also gives us a chance to snuggle while we talk on his rug. So he kind of settles into his room by himself, because toddlers kind of start getting to that stage of feeling left out when you leave. So since doing that, have not had any trouble with him whining out. He just goes right to bed after that. Next tip is to keep a sound machine next to the toddler as well. Now, it is not necessary to have 2 sound machines. You could definitely get away with one, and when I couldn't find one worked fine. I do find it nice, like the baby can tolerate so much more noise if the toddler's kind of being loud when falling asleep for a nap or nighttime, and the baby won't wake up. And I think that's helpful, having the sound machine by the baby and the toddler. But up to you. Another big tip was the alarm clock, like I was talking about. My son was waking up around 6 a.m. and that was a no-go for me. I've been enjoying sleeping in lately until 7, or just being able to get a few things done before the kids wake up. And so I'll have linked the toddler alarm clock and sound machine and everything that I use or talk about in this video. It is a game changer, because for bedtime you can set a time and it will turn red, and then we came up with the red means stay in bed and then green is wake up. But I'm like, oh, you get to blame it on the clock. Like, you're not saying it's bedtime. You're like, oh, darn it. I wish we could play longer, but the alarm clock's red. So that means we have to stay in bed. And it's time to, get in bed. And even more importantly, like I was mentioning before, the fact that it turns green at 7 a.m. is super helpful for my toddler. He gets super excited when it turns green. He's like, wake up! And it's been super great. The last thing that I want to touch on is naps and the few tips I have there. So if it is a lucky day where both kids are going down for a nap at the same time, I find it easiest to actually put them down at the same time, the baby in the crib first, and then go snuggle with the toddler. He might fuss a little bit about going down for a nap, but since the baby's falling asleep at the same time, it doesn't disturb her falling asleep. She just thinks, oh, my brother's being annoying, and then we'll fall asleep. Whereas if the baby is 20 minutes into her nap and then you bring down the toddler and he's yelling, the baby's bound to wake up, because naps, they just don't go into such a deeper sleep. And then it's going to be a stressful day. Let's say if your toddler is asleep for about 30 minutes or so and in a deep sleep, I can sneak in with my baby because she is quiet going to sleep. That would greatly depend on what child is quieter when going to sleep. Obviously, it's not my toddler. So depending on that, whichever is quieter, put the first kid to sleep, have them asleep for 30 minutes, and then put the second one that's quieter going to sleep so they can both take a nap. And best of luck. Trimmer, you were so loud for my video. What do you have to say for yourself? Yeah. Alright, my friends, I hope this video was helpful and will make the transition of putting your kids in the same room less stressful. If you're like us and you have 2 bedrooms and you have to do it out of necessity, know that it will be okay and don't sweat it too much. It will likely go better than you imagine in your mind. Alright, have a wonderful day. Catch you in the next video. Bye.